Hello everyone, my name is Victor Tort and I will be showing you how to work with filters in Wireshark and with Wi-Fi filters in Wireshark. Wireshark is an open source tool that can be downloaded from internet and it's available for several operating systems, Windows, Linux, Mac OS, among others. So before getting into the detail of this video, I have to make a couple of assumptions in here that you already are familiarized with the frame control of the Mac header in Wi-Fi World 802.11 and that you are already familiarized with type of frames in Wi-Fi World, management, control, and data. Okay, after saying that, I have this packet capture that I took yesterday in my house. It's a 5-minute packet capture and it's about 200,000 packets. And that is huge and this is challenging because this is my home network. If that is the case of an enterprise network, this could be a bigger packet capture by far. So let's suppose that you want to analyze this packet capture and you want to know several things about your network. Uh, but doing so in this presentation is kind of complicated because there are a bunch of information. Obviously, mainly all of this information is Wi-Fi information. I'm not including Ethernet information, for example. So let's get started. The idea is to show you how to work with filters, and to work with filters, we have several options. For example, the first option is in this section of Wireshark, apply a display filter. By the way, I'm talking about this specifically only as a display filters. I capture everything. In Wireshark, you have capture filters and display filters, and the difference is the information you will keep you will keep in your hard disk for further analysis. In this specific case, I will be speaking about display filters. They are the same. The difference is you are going to save all the packet capture with the information, or all or only the packet capture with the display filter. You can do both. I mean, so in here say apply this display filter. So my first option is to work with filters is to already know the filter. I mean, what filter can I use to do this or to do that? For example, if you are already familiar, as I can use this filter. This filter, what it says is it's a WLAN information what I want to capture. Pretty sure that it's similar in other protocols, but in this video I'm talking about the wirelans. Then I put a .fc. FC stands for frame control, so that is important that you are familiarized with this part of the Mac header. Then I have two extra options that are that you can or cannot use. But the idea is to go as deep as possible in order to find a specific information in your packet capture. So in this case, we have type and subtype. So the type of the management of the frame, sorry, already I mentioned already this management, control, and data. So this type, and then we have subtypes, and this is a bunch of them depending of the frame that you are analyzing. In this case, I'm looking specifically for equal to 8. By default, if I use this filter, Wireshark will understand that I'm working with management frames. So what I'm saying is, within the management frame subset of subtypes, I'm looking specifically for the number 8. And 8, it turns out that means I'm looking for beacons. So beacon is a management frame, okay? So what I'm going to see in here is a packet capture only full of beacon frames, because I instructed Wireshark to show me only beacon frames. And this represents almost 3% of my information. You can see this. So what about if I know the filter, or I know the subtype, for example, acknowledge that it's 13, but it's not a management frame. Acknowledge is a control frame. So in that case, I have to use this hexadecimal value and say 13 in hexadecimal. If I click apply to the filter, then I will rescan the packet capture, and Wireshark will say, okay, I find uh, all of these acknowledge that it's almost 4% of my packet capture is full of acknowledge. Funny that no, it's not funny, but something that not all the people knows is that in the case of our acknowledge, we only use one MAC address, the receiver address. So if I send a packet, a frame, the receiver will copy my my MAC address and send it back, send back an acknowledge only using my MAC address. There are a couple of frames that use this technique, the CTS and the acknowledge frame. So if you see that it's not a source MAC address, that it's okay, it's normal. Yesterday when I was looking for some information, I found that you can use as well decimal values. For example, if I say wlan.fc.type underscore subtype equal to 29, guess what? That means acknowledge as well. So in Wireshark, you can use hexadecimal or decimal values. And in this case, you don't have to specify if it's a control or if it's a data or if a management frame. This value is known to be an acknowledge in Wireshark. So let's say I choose 24. I have this just on the top of my mind because obviously I don't know all the filters. So it turns out that 24 is block acknowledge. I didn't know that, and that is good to know because it's another type of frame that is pretty used in today's networks. So this is my first way to filter the information. I know the filter and I put it in here. By the way, when I put this filter, for example, wireless LAN, uh, Wireshark will show a green bar that should be interpreted as the filter is okay. The filter is correct. For example, if I put a slash, it will turn red, and that is not correct. But if I put only wireless LAN, that is totally normal, and I can apply the filter, and it will say every time I put a filter, Wireshark will rescan the information. So it's done. It's dissecting the information, and it seems well, no, not surprises. 100% of the information it's wireless LAN information. That is normal. So this takes me to the second option that I have in order to work with filters. What about it if I don't know the filter? The first example was I already know the filter, and it was I know the filter how to apply it in hexadecimal, and I know that I have to include 0x if I want to use control and data frames, because if I don't include it, the Wireshark understand that I'm talking about a management frame. The other one is that I can use decimal numbers. I don't master all these numbers, but the 29 is the acknowledge and 24 is the block acknowledge. If we go to internet, probably someone already has all of this information, and we can save them for further use. So the second example is what if I don't know the filter? Well, Wireshark is our friend because if I put wireless LAN, I, I start seeing the filters that I've used before, but if I type something, Wireshark will do some recommendations for me. For example, it would say, what about using, I don't know, wireless LAN address? Wireless LAN address uh, that it will include every MAC address that is on my packet capture, and probably this not pretty helpful because I will end up using the 100% of the packet capture. So probably I want to include in here an equal. Let's say I made up this MAC address that it's a valid filter, okay, and then I can click apply. So the second example is Wireshark will help us to autocomplete what filter I'm using. For example, let's say that I want a filter that starts with a WLAN, and I know that FC is my friend because it's frame control, and I say I'm looking for a specific type. I say I will look for control, only control frames in my packet capture. So it will rescan, and when it's done, it will show all the control frames found in the packet capture. That it's almost 50%, the half of my packet capture. If I want to corroborate this, I have to go to this section and look for this specific. This is what Wireshark is doing, filtering based on this type of information. Using this filter, obviously, we can use filter for every of these information. So in this specific example, I'm looking for control frames. So I use this filter, wlan.fc.type equal to 1. I can look for management frames by using 0, or I can look for data frames by using number 2. That's good. So the second example is Wireshark will help us to autocomplete what we are looking for. Then we have another option if we have, for example, our whole packet capture, and let's say and start analyzing my packet capture and say, okay, I don't know, I'm interested in this request to send. So I can go ahead to clear to send. So I go in here and say, okay, it's a clear to send. So I can click right button and say apply as filter, the selected one. So once again, wlan.fc.type underscore subtype equal to 001, 0x001c. And this will show me only clear to send frames. If you remember, I have to instruct Wireshark to not use management frames. So 0x and then this 1 for control and see that it's 12 for clear to send. So that is another form, that there is another way that I can use to work with filters. And the latest one that I want to show you in this video is, okay, I want to work with a specific filter, but the packet is not included in this packet capture. So I can always go to expression, look for IEEE. If you see, there are several options in here. IEEE 800.11, WireLAN, Centrino, aggregate data, extensions. So if I open this section, it's all related to WireLAN. So if I, for example, want to go to missing data, I don't know. In here, it depends what you are looking for, because the filters will be preloaded in here in this section. The relation, it's what is the operator you want to use, equal, different, bigger, lower, depending. So for example, let's use this another one. 1 second, because I'm having some trouble in here. So bad length, extra data, invalid, missing. If I want to use aggregate that data. So all this information, for example, equal value protocol 1. See, wireless LAN equal. I can use this one. For example, let's see what it throws. So again, it's rescanning. So it is not showing anything. So this expression probably is not what we are looking for. So if we go again all the way down to IEEE, this is the universe of protocol what the Wireshark has in here. So again, I'm going to IEEE wireless LAN, and I start seeing all the information. So my problem before was that I filtered for IEEE and I lost all of these guys. So again, WLAN Aruba, WLAN 808, analysis. It depends what you are looking for. Antenna selection, driver ateros, block acknowledge, for example. I don't know. Let's look for another beamforming. Let's look for beamforming. I don't know. Whatever. It's this is my filter. We will see what it throws. Okay, then it's already in here, and I click apply. So we can start analyzing what is happening. These filters can be used when the packet capture is saved on your disk, or you can use it as display filters while you are capturing information. So these options are valid in both cases. Okay, so let's try another one. IEEE. So all the way down. So once again, IEEE wireless LAN data, and let's see, for example, the options for frame control. That it's one that I was talking about before. As you can see, this is huge. It's enormous. So frame control. Let's say frame control. For example, to distribution system. DS is distribution system. So what are my options in here? I have this to distribution system equal to 0, from to distribution system equal to 1, from distribution system equal to 1, or 1 and 1. It depends what I'm looking for. If I'm looking only for frames that are not being that are not sending to the that are not sent to the distribution system, I probably want to use this filter. That is only one example. Obviously, again, it depends what you are looking for. So it's loading, it's rescanning. Okay, all these guys, 100 of my packets are not being. No, sorry. Almost 50% of my packets is not meant to go to the distribution system. There are only packets or only frames that are intended to be in the Wi-Fi, in the Wi-Fi medium, in the RF medium, for management or control purposes. Normally, I'm going to see this to distribution system when I'm talking to about the data frames. Well, this is what I have in mind. Hopefully, you take advantage of this information, guys. And uh, as usual, thank you for seeing my videos. Bye bye.